Good morning. It's Friday 25th of August and this is my last day of cycling in Iceland, or at least my last planned day. I'm leaving Sandgerði and today I'm going to Vogar camping, which is the original place I started at, and I'm going to get my bike box there. I've got a couple of days at that campsite, but to be honest, just be nice to decompress and get ready to go back home and step back into reality. Today's actual ride is going to take me around the peninsula. I'm going to go to a place called Garður first, and then I'm going to stop by the airport and have a look at this bike pit place. Out of curiosity, I'd like to know if there's any bike boxes in there at this time of year. And then I'll carry on to Vogar camping, which I can't really check in until 3. It's about a 30 or 40 kilometre day today, depending on how long the airport diversion takes me. So yeah, it'd be like a 3-hour cycle ride, probably all done. And as you can see, there's a bike path leading out of the little town, and I've just got some final snacks at a little supermarket, so I'm hoping that I've now got enough food to last me until the flight back home, because once the bike is packed there's no shops near me in near that campground, so I'll be surviving off what I've got with me along with what other campers have left behind before they go home. Which there was plenty of stuff there when I first arrived, so hoping that's the same when I leave. Woke up in fog this morning, so the weather's definitely getting chillier, although right now it's a lovely day for cycling. Yeah, not a lot else to say really. I mean, end of the tour and all that. Always caught between two things, kind of thinking back on the tour and then looking forward to getting on with other things when I get back to Greece, which boils down to a week of trying to get on top of like any finances, work and all that sort of stuff, and then we're going to Katos Island for a while. Just assuming I get on the flight back to Athens okay from Iceland, of course. Yeah, all in all, I would say this bike trip, the weather has been very, very good to me. I mean, I deliberately chose the best time of year to go. So, I mean, it's still out of your hands what the weather will do, but the time period, sort of last 2 weeks of July to end of August, is probably optimal for good weather. What you sacrifice, of course, is the northern lights, which don't really show up until September. Yeah, so it's all been good really. I'll stop nattering for the moment and then give you another clip from the road a bit further down. Just cycling through the small village of Garður. There was also a campsite here and it didn't look very good. Probably okay if you're in a camper van, but not for tents. I think the one where I stayed was pretty good. Had a covered kitchen area. Didn't have a stove top. Had a good shower. But only one shower and 2 loos, so again pretty minimal for how many people are on the site, but it always seems to work out. Because of the time that I arrive at campsites, I rarely have to queue. I kind of get at campsites so I can have my shower by 4. I'm eating my big meal like 5 or 6, and then everyone else is tending to turn up after that, so I never really have to join queues for showers and stuff. Okay, so this is the famous bike pit at Keflavik Airport, Reykjavík, Iceland. I had a look inside and there's no bike boxes in there. So it really is pot luck if you're planning to fly back with a bike box you're hoping to pick up here. I've heard some people say it's stacked and others say there's none. My guess is that flights haven't arrived yet, so there's no boxes, plus end of August, wrong time of year. Anyway, I don't need one hopefully because my bike box is in Vogar camping. So I've just popped into the bike pit at Keflavik Airport, Reykjavík, Iceland. I was kind of hoping there might be some bike boxes here as an emergency in case the one I've got stored isn't there. But there's a little sign there saying all unattended bags and bike boxes will be removed and discarded by the airport authorities. So when you come to Keflavik, it's going to be pot luck as to whether there's a bike box here for you or not. So maybe you need to plan to store your box somewhere. So this is the bike path leading from the airport. So if you were to arrive, you can follow this bike path through to Keflavik. And then from Keflavik on to Reykjavík on a combination of bike paths and roads. So yeah, if you were banking on there being a bike box at Keflavik Airport, it's a bit risky, I think, especially towards the end of the season. Maybe mid-August you would be okay, but at the end of the season, I mean, people probably cycle through to the end of September, but there's certainly not as many people setting out now to go.
Now keep right.
Just because of the way that the holiday season in Europe works and the good weather in Iceland, of course. So yeah, when I was planning this trip, where to keep the bike box, where to keep the bike box, what to do with it, how much it cost, was a bit of a conundrum. And no matter what combination you thought to do, like leaving it a friendly guest house, but then you're going to overpay by staying there, leave it in the campground in Reykjavík, but then you've got to get the bike box there. So whatever you do, it's going to cost you like probably 100 to 150 euros. So it's something to put into your budget. Yeah, so that's like the one small irritation I found when planning the trip to Iceland. So if there was just a bike box storage at the airport, I mean, it would be a lot better for many reasons. Not least encouraging people to have a cycling holiday in Iceland, of course. And although Reykjavík may have some bicycle shops, I don't think they're going to sell the number of bicycles needed to keep giving out bike boxes. And even if you get one in Reykjavík, you've then still got to get to and from the airport with the bike box. So whatever you do, there's like a transportation of it involved and an additional cost. So keep that in mind. Maybe I should tour to Brompton next time. I could just do it in a zip-up bag or something. Kind of cool. Maybe I'll do that one day, just to see what it's like. Probably hard work, I should imagine. So I'm not sure if this bike path is going to lead me all the way or I have to rejoin a road.
300 meters, turn right onto Ulsvellir.
But we will find out shortly.
250 meters, go straight.
Yeah, so it's still a little bike path.
Now turn right, then in 150 meters, go straight.
just as a side note, there probably was a bike path that took you all the way to Reykjavik.
In 110 meters at the intersection, take a slight right onto Sandgerði.
However, on my guidance, I had put to go via a netto in case I needed any last minute supplies. So I'll never know for sure if the bike path carried all the way through or not.
Intersection, take a slight right onto Sandgerði.
So I can see the highway traffic up ahead of me. I assume that there's some sort of junction. I think I'll go to the left here, and then there'll be maybe an underground roundabout to take me. As you can hear, the wind's picked up a little bit now, and the bike path's going somewhere I don't want it to be. Turn left, so I must be able to access the main road from the left, which is good. I'm pointing out these highlights of Iceland to you. So now I've got to go underneath the road by the looks of things. I've done something very naughty there on the roundabout, but it's the only way. I'm only a cyclist, it don't matter. So, zero chance of there being a bike path here, of course. So I just have to put my head down and get on with it. About 7 kilometres of cycling, I think. Hoping there's a bit of a shoulder. I'm expecting dual lanes, similar to what I had when I cycled towards Reykjavik for a stretch. Okay, here we go. A pretty good shoulder. There we go, we're off the main road now and just beginning a small descent into Vogar, so fasten your safety belts. Yeah, so this is kind of the end of the bike tour really. Well, the end of the cycling. Got another day or two to fill in time, pack the bike box up and stuff, as I've mentioned. Probably a number of times now, because it's the thing on my mind next, of course. So yeah, bike touring in Iceland. Well, I had a great time. I mean, admittedly, everything went well for me. So, always helps, doesn't it? And I've only got 0.5 kilometers left to get a puncture as well. So I didn't have a flat all the way around. No bike issues. Yeah, the sleeping mattress was an issue. But other than that, everything went very smoothly, really. Probably didn't turn out as expensive as I thought it would in the end, because once you're actually cycling and you're not in the middle of nowhere, but in the more remote areas, I mean, you can't really spend money on anything. If you hit a bad spell of rain, you'd probably want to spend a few days in accommodation if you could get it, like hostel or guest house. Yeah, things could start getting expensive then for sure. The other thing that probably made my trip cheap on a daily expense is I don't drink. Yeah, and I don't really have like special dietary requirements or anything, so yeah, I mean, I'm going to work out how much I spent at the end, but I imagine it's probably like 40 euros a day, maybe 50. I think it'd also start getting expensive if you needed to replace bits of gear and stuff, like with my my sleeping mattress. If the tour had gone on another month, yeah, I would definitely have wanted to have just bought a new one, a foam mattress, and of course then things start to add up. You know, and if I needed to replace anything on the bike or the tent or something, yeah, it would get expensive. So I'd say allow 50 euros a day as an expense. Worst case scenario, you're gonna, you know, not spend it all and bring some money back with you, aren't you? Use my card for most of the trip. I did take out some cash just because I like to have a backup, and I've pretty much spent everything down to the equivalent of about 10 euros now. Yeah, actually, you know, as long as the climate's on your side, Iceland's a pretty easy country to cycle around, really. I mean, yeah, you're going to have challenges with the terrain as well, hills and stuff, but you get that everywhere. I'm not exactly sure where I'm going. I think I'm just following this road down. There's a little bike path, so I thought I'd use it. I'm down on this main road, this road over to my right, and I'm on the right hand side of that from memory. Yeah, so job done. Wonder what country I'd like to go to next. Japan, maybe? South Korea? Taiwan? We'll see. It's also a matter of carving out the time to do it, of course, because it's not just the 6 weeks that I was on the tour, it's all the preparation and, you know, time that goes into it. You end up juggling a lot of things at the same time, so really I wouldn't say like a year of planning went into it, but I've been thinking about the trip for a whole year and planning different bits of it throughout, you know, like getting bits of camping gear that I needed to upgrade and stuff. Right, I think we're going to have to join the road here. Right, there we go. That's the end of it. Maybe I'll do a summary at the end. I'll see what I feel like. Ooh. That was a good way to end, wasn't it? Alright, I'll catch you in a bit.